Welcome back to America Happens. I'm Mindy Robinson, and we have a very special guest,
Melanie Turner.
Now, this entire conference, we've been interviewing pundits and experts and doctors, but this time we're actually going to interview a real person. I know I'm not real, it's just an implication, who was at the fires in Lahaina, because we are not getting the true story. We're not getting news really at all, and because it's an island, we can't just drive there and do it ourselves. It's very cut off. It's very isolated. So we're going to ask her questions. She was there. She would know. And I think the world needs to know the truth, because the only way we can help Hawaiians is if we know what's going on and what's not going on, which is just important. So how far were you from the fire?
I was 3 miles from it.
You could see the smoke and everything like that?
Oh, yeah, I walked out of my apartment and it looked like the weather system. I'm like, wow, what's going on? And come to find out, it was Lahaina burning up.
And it's been talked about on the news. Like, I've been to Hawaii several times before, and I believe once a month at least, they'll do the tsunami warnings just to test it. You know when it's going to happen. And then when you don't know what's going to happen, you would go out and figure it out too. Now, there were no warnings. No sirens went off whatsoever. I believe they tried to ask, and they got no answer. And now they're trying to give a pretty weak answer, I believe, right?
Well, let me just say this, if I may. What happened first thing in the morning, I walked outside and I said, there is no way I'm working in this weather, because we're going to have a hurricane. So I'm like, there is no way I'm working in this weather. And normally I am in Lahaina, up Lahaina Luna Road, the whole thing. So when it happened and we saw the smoke, the electricity went out at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. And so we were all shut down from that point. And then our internet went down too. So we had no idea. And then I go out of my apartment and I see all the smoke, and we're like, whoa, thought it was like somebody's going to have a video and a party going on. Well, no, it was everybody was watching what's going on in Lahaina, which is 5 miles from where I live. Okay, so I walked to Lahaina, I walked the streets, I'm there all the time. So then we realized not until the next day, in fact, when somebody came looking for me 24 hours later, my family had no idea. They thought I was dead. They had no idea if I was alive or not. I was all over Facebook, anti-Pastor Mel, where is she, da-da-da. And so somebody came to my house and said, oh my gosh, you're alive. I'm like, what? Everybody's looking for you. I'm like, why? Lahaina has burnt down. This was 24 hours later. And I am like, oh my gosh. So then I was able to get a hold of my daughter and the whole networking. There was never any sirens, never any warnings, you know, and every month we have a warning go off. Every month on the first of the month.
Yeah.
So
it works.
Oh, it works, yeah. So when they said that they were afraid that people would run uphill if they did the tsunami warning, personally, that's a load of crap. Because every one of us know the first of the month. And if there's a siren that goes off, which there have been before, and it's not the first of the month, we go outside, what's that noise? What's going on? So we would know. And I used to be a firefighter back in the day, forest firefighter. So you know not to run up to the fire, you know to go away. So it's that they did not do that, lighting or doing the sirens.
Were they trying to say they were worried that if the tsunami sirens went off, people would think there'd be a tsunami and go to the mountains? But obviously you're going to see a fire. You just need to get outside. You need that warning.
Right,
that's what it exists for.
Exactly. So my friend, I talked to her later. We snorkel and stuff together. She was in Lahaina right where it all happened as well. I have many, many friends that lost their homes. So they shut all their doors and windows because it was so loud from the wind. Their dog starts walking back and forth. So my friend is like, oh, I think the dog needs to go shishi, which is pee. Okay, so then she lets the dog out and she sees all this smoke. She tells her husband, we got to get out of here. There's this smoke. So neighbors and them got together. Okay, we're getting out of here. One neighbor said, I'm staying here. I'm taking care of my house. Well, of course, they never found him. Then the police, they had her go down toward Front Street, which is the main drag, right? Everything was bottlenecked in Lahaina Luna Road. They got to Lahaina Luna Road. The tree was on fire. Now you have to understand, they were over here. Lahaina Luna Road is here. You follow straight down, and then there's Front Street. Okay. On Front Street, then is the coast, right? There's the ocean. So the police were telling them all go to Front Street, which is the bottleneck in the fire. my girlfriend's husband said, no, let's go south. And she's like, okay. After he went running with the dog, then she went with him. Later on, she said, we were the only ones, I am sure, that got out of there because it was so bottlenecked and there was nobody to get them any other way.
Why were they telling you to go the way that people would die?
I think, seriously, there wasn't the communication. You know, it was a hurricane, there was chaos, and that's my own opinion, that's my own thinking. Of course there's chaos. Fire's coming at you, the smoke's coming at you. You know, I have my good friend Kimo Clark, who is like in the news and really helped with Truth Excavation, doing and saving a lot of homes. It was total chaos.
Who are the people that would be in charge of an emergency situation that day? Where was everybody?
They were off island. The guy, the Maui Emergency Management Agency, he was off island. He's the one that said...
During the hurricane?
Yeah, during the hurricane. The governor was off island, the fire chief was off island.
Have they given reasons why they would? I mean, you know a hurricane's coming. It's not an earthquake or something that just happens. You know, even if it's getting close and your job is to be in charge of an emergency, they should have been there. And if they weren't there, come in, honestly. So what are the locals doing? Are they upset at this? Are they confused?
Absolutely upset. And I don't think there's confusion as much as upset. Now, I was in a fire 30 years ago from the same kind of thing with the transformers. We got the hurricane kind of winds. It blew Teen Challenge over, half the camp burned down. 5 years ago, we had a fire that we thought we were going to lose all of Lahaina. Got it saved, but with a lot of tragedy, not lives lost, but a lot of homes and stuff. So they've had plenty of training times that they could go, okay, this is what happens during a hurricane. Shut off the electricity, make sure there's water. Nobody leaves town during this time. When I was a firefighter, we were on call. In those emergency situations, we were on call. You know, even as at my house, when I knew it was a hurricane, I had my different thing. I had a generator just in case. I had my batteries and my lanterns just in case. I have the batteries just in case. Those are just the simple things that we do. So why the state of Hawaii befumbled this, I don't know.
Well, a lot of people are bringing up the fact, and I've unfortunately become an expert on the Las Vegas shooting, but our incident commander during the Las Vegas shooting, who also refused to give answers, is now the captain in Maui, and he's not giving answers either. What accountability, if at all, with his bungling? I mean, the electricity should have been cut off and high winds, because that's how fires start. Sirens should have went off. The emergency people contact should have been there, and they weren't. So what are the people? Are they just angry? Are they still too in shock? Are they still recovering? Or are they asking for recourse at this point?
I think it's all of the above. In fact, I read today that the county of Maui is suing the electric companies. So there is definitely some blame shifting going on. Now, our governor did say that the management agency, the guy that was heading it, that it was unacceptable what he did. He said that later, not when the whole interview went on. So I'm not happy about that. But really, it is a disaster that is worse than you even see on TV.
It looks like a war zone. Actually, it looks worse than Ukraine, or the pictures that they barely send. It looks like worse than a fire. It looks I've never seen fire damage like that. And we're used to fires in California. I mean, it's drier. The winds are always there. I have never seen damage like this. It didn't seem to be mitigated at all. I heard they shut the water off to the fire hydrants because people were using that to at least put it at bay and save properties, and then that got turned off, and yet again, no explanation. What do you think? Because we do conspiracies on this show. When we don't get the answers we want and we see facts that they're hiding, we come up with our own theories. A lot of people are saying that this land, they've been trying to take, it's all locally owned, that they've been trying to do a land grab for a while, the corporations, and these are good people, they're Hawaiians, they don't want to sell, and now look what happens. What do you think about that? And I do like that there are measures taken now that we have brought that up. Hey, this better not be the reason that this was not mitigated and it was made a lot worse. And now people are like, well, we're not going to, let them take the land. What are they talking about that? Are they suspicious of that?
Oh, absolutely. But what is going on, there is this huge campaign, whether you're a local Hawaiian with Kanaka, or I'm a Haole and I've been there for 37 years, all of us don't sell the land. Don't sell the land. Don't leave, don't sell the land. Of course, there would be that place that there would be those guys that are greedy and they want that. One thing that Hawaiians have done that is beautiful along where I live, which is 5 miles from Lahaina town, all along Lower Honoapi Ilani Road, where I live, there's all these stations that the Hawaiians have started setting up these hubs for supplies. And it is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. It is absolutely wonderful. And then you have the locals and the residents helping out wherever we can as well. So the good of the community is coming together. That is beautiful.
If there could be a good part to a tragedy, it is how beautiful people come. I'm not going to cry. It is how beautiful people come together in an emergency. You're all in the same boat. You may not even know somebody, but you know them. You're in the same boat. You're coming together. The government, I'm a big believer the government's never going to help you the way it should. They don't do anything good. That is the good part that's coming out. And I've heard that you're doing a lot of good charity work. We would love to give you a platform if you want to give shout outs to the GoFundMes and the things that you're doing directly, not FEMA, not Red Cross. Right. Would you like to share that with them?
Yeah, and if I would like to say, the first day of the fire, I had 6 people, a lady with 3 Brazilian kids come up and ask for food because they were tourists and they just got there the night before. So I gave them food and I said, where are you going? They said, we're going to sleep in our car. And I'm like, no, you're not. You sleep in my house. And she's like, oh, no. I'm like, yes, sleep in my house. No, thank you. So she left and I chased her down and I said, okay, if I was in your country, would you invite me in? Yes. Okay, I'm inviting you in. So then the 6 of them came and stayed with me. So the shout out would be like his Grace Ministries Maui would be awesome for a GoFundMe. Okay. There's a GoFundMe under Deborah Cumming, and it's my sister, and she's helping me with raising funds. Also, there's a Venmo with Melanie Turner, and that would be great. Also, I'm doing musical instruments, ukuleles, guitars, keyboards. It doesn't matter if they're new or used. Music is a big thing for kids and for adults. So that's the big things we're going for right now. And we're helping our communities. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You are a beautiful human being. I'm sorry what you went through, but you went through it with a grace that I can only hope I have to do someday. And thank you for your work. And we're praying for Hawaii. Of all the states, I think it's the most beautiful. It's paradise. It's paradise. And I hope you rebuild. And if there's anything we can help you at America Happens, we'd love to do it. Thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you very much. Aloha.
Aloha.